You know that feeling at the end of the day when you're completely exhausted, but you can't exactly explain why? You didn't even have a particularly bad day. You weren't even in back to back meetings. You're just exhausted, maybe even more exhausted than after a really bad day. That used to happen to me all the time. Here's what's happening: you're working two jobs, but you are only getting paid for one of them. Stay with me here, because once I name this, you are not going to be able to unsee it. I spent 25 years in corporate leadership development. I was a global director at a $3 billion technology company. I had the title, the team, the scope. And for most of those years, I was also running a second job in the background, constantly monitoring how I was showing up in every room, editing myself before I spoke, bracing for moments when somebody thought I was too quiet or just not leadership material, mentally replaying conversations on the drive home. I had no idea this was even a thing, let alone that it was draining me at a level that no vacation, no amount of time off, no amount of sleep was ever going to fix. That is, until I heard Drs. Keegan and Leahy of Harvard talk about it. I trained under them for a year for my first certification, the Immunity to Change coach certification, back in 2017, I think it was. When I heard them talk about the concept of the second job, it completely changed my life. I knew immediately that this was my biggest struggle, and I knew that if I could overcome this, my life was going to change. If you're an introverted, highly sensitive, or empathetic leader, I really want you to hear me out on this, because I pretty much guarantee that you are also working the second job that is not only exhausting you, but actually costing you so much more. I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and how to quit it. So your first job obviously is the one you are hired for. It's your job description, your role, your responsibilities, all the things that you're expected to do to help your company be successful. The second job is a shadow job running in the background. It's the exhausting unpaid job of managing other people's impressions of you. It involves hiding your weaknesses and inadequacies, masking your uncertainties and lack of knowledge, managing politics and looking good at all costs. It's constant self-monitoring and impression management. It's code switching. It's adjusting your personality, your communication style, even your energy level to adjust to what you think the room expects. So picture this, because here's what it actually looks like in practice. It's the mental rehearsal you run before you speak up in a meeting, not to prepare the idea, but to prepare how you deliver it so you don't seem unclear or hesitant. It's the energy you spend reading the room before you've even said a word, sensing the tension, adjusting your tone, deciding whether now is the right moment to contribute. It's rewriting that email 4 times, not because the content isn't right, but because you're trying to manage how it's going to land. It's the 45 decompression you need after a day of back-to-back interactions. Not because you're antisocial, but because you have been performing all day. You have been pretending. You have been faking it. You know what I'm talking about. So let's unpack why introverted, highly sensitive leaders, quiet leaders struggle with this more than the average person. Our nervous systems are wired to pick up more nuance, more emotional cues. That's actually a leadership superpower, but without the right tools, it does become a liability. Corporate environments were designed to reward extroverted behaviors, so we have all learned to compensate. If you're a quiet leader, you are not doing this because you're insecure or weak. You're doing this because your nervous system is actually just picking up more information than the people around you. You're more attuned, more aware, more empathetic. But when you're in an environment that rewards louder, more performative leadership, your sensitivity and empathy gets weaponized against you. You start using all that awareness to monitor yourself instead of just lead. And the real cost is not just tiredness, it is chronic nervous system overload. It erodes confidence over time. It keeps your actual leadership strengths hidden. It is the root cause of leadership burnout, and no productivity hack will fix it. Now, here's where I'm going to say something that might seem a little bit against the grain. I believe in self-leadership before servant leadership. Think about this. You cannot give what you do not have. I mean, truly, it makes so much sense when you think about it that way. Most leadership development, most executive coaches and corporate programs, they're going to try to help you get better at that second job with tools and techniques that they frame as skill development. They'll teach you executive presence, presentation skills, influencing skills. They're going to tell you how to command a room. Basically, they're just telling you to fake it until you make it. This is such bullshit. Excuse the language. That's just a more sophisticated version of the same exhausting performance. It's unhealthy, it's unsustainable, and it's inauthentic. People are going to sniff that out a mile away, and that erodes trust. What I want to offer you is a completely different idea. What if the goal isn't to get better at impression management? What if the goal is to quit that second job entirely? What if you could walk into the room as yourself, fully, authentically yourself? And that was enough. Not because you lowered your standards, but because you finally have the tools and the skills to translate who you are to influence in a way that actually gets you rewarded and recognized. This is why I always say that leadership is an energy and a mindset game before it's a performance game. Before we layer on skills and strategies, we have to address what's going on inside your body, in your nervous system and in your mind. That's what's running that second job in the background 24/7. Addressing this piece of the puzzle is self-leadership before servant leadership. It's focusing on you. It's learning to lead yourself well before learning to lead others well. Authentically. When your nervous system feels safe, you stop monitoring and you start leading. This isn't to say that skill set development isn't important. All of my coaching and programs include all three: nervous system regulation, mindset management, and skill set development. My approach is regulate, reframe, rise. Regulate your nervous system so you can stay calm, confident, focused, regardless of what is happening around you. Reframe those self-limiting beliefs. Learn how to be the boss of your brain. Really manage your mind, again, regardless of what is happening around you. Then you can rise to any challenge with the skills that you learn in programs. You need all three. It starts with awareness. Awareness precedes change because awareness creates choice. So, for the awareness piece, start noticing when you're clocking into that second job this week. Before your next meeting, pause and ask yourself, am I preparing my ideas? Or am I preparing my performance? That distinction alone is going to start to shift things for you. Also, try this simple nervous system reset before high stakes interactions. Maybe before you walk into a meeting, a difficult conversation, a presentation, whatever you consider high stakes, try this. Just give yourself 60 seconds. Put your feet flat on the floor. Relax all the muscles in your face. Start with your forehead, through your jaw, your cheeks, your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Relax all the tension in your body. Take 3 deep breaths. Again, really focus on relaxing all the muscles in your face. Just settle in and relax. All the tension. Release all that tension. Now ask yourself, how do I want to contribute in this situation? This grounds you in your purpose rather than performance. Again, just this small amount of awareness is going to be enough to shift something for you. Give it a try. You can also start to challenge your definition of great leadership. Really ask yourself what great leadership means to you. Are you trying to be a great leader defined by your own standards? Are you trying to be an extroverted leader because that's what you see around you? Really answer that question honestly for yourself. Everything I teach inside my program, the Alchemist Leader Lab, starts with this foundation because I've seen what happens when introverted and highly sensitive leaders finally quit that second job. They stop shrinking in rooms where they used to disappear. They start getting recognized for contributions they've been making for years. They get promoted. They get tapped for projects they actually want. And they do this all as themselves, not pretending to be more like the louder, more extroverted leaders. That is what is available to you. But it starts with understanding that you are never the problem. The second job was. If you recognize yourself in anything that I shared in this video and you want a bit of a deeper dive as well as exercises to help you quit that second job, make sure to download the free guide in the description below to learn how to lead powerfully without pretending. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. I plan to put out new content every single week, specifically for highly sensitive, empathetic, introverted leaders who are ready to be done pretending and to start leading authentically as themselves. I'll see you in the next one.